Why Israel's war could suddenly get a lot bigger.
We see a real risk of escalation on the northern border.
Trading limited fire with a longtime foe in Lebanon.
Hezbollah is the A-team.
You can sense the panic in Lebanon, you can sense the panic in Israel.
So what would it take for this front to blow up? Gaza gets most of the attention because a ground invasion by Israel is looking imminent in southern Israel. But the northern border may also be a powder keg. And here's Susan Ormiston to break down why.
Ian, the biggest potential flashpoint in this war outside Gaza is that border to the north. The area is on a hair trigger. The border effectively separates two old foes, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Israelis, and it's been hostile and armed for decades. Any miscalculation there could plunge Israel into a wider war which could redraw the fault lines across the Middle East. This view is from Lebanon. On the horizon, Israel. And shelling and artillery across this border from both sides has been ramping up with every day. Friday, a journalist was killed on the Lebanese side. Days earlier, a Hezbollah fighter was buried, adding to the tensions. The Israeli military is waiting, reinforcing its side of the border. IDF soldiers have already been killed in the north. The casualties here are mounting. On both sides, people are fleeing their homes, worried that the war with Hamas in Gaza will spill over here, igniting a second front. A war between Israel and Hezbollah, the militant militia based in Lebanon.
Hezbollah is the crown jewel of Iranian militias and proxy forces in the region. While very much a Lebanese group with its representation in parliament, nonetheless, ideologically, it is beholden to Iran.
Just last May, Hezbollah launched war games, exercising its power. Canada has the militant group on its terrorism list. Estimates put Hezbollah's arsenal at 130,000 rockets.
As significant as Hamas's military prowess is, Hezbollah is the A-team, is the most powerful non-state military actor in the world. Hassan Nasrallah, their leader, is on record in saying that everything they have, they owe to Iran, the money, the training, the weapons. And so in many ways, Hezbollah's leadership and Iran's leadership are completely intertwined.
Soon after Hamas launched its brutal attack on Israel, Hezbollah announced its full-throated support.
قلوبنا معكم، عقولنا معكم، أرواحنا معكم، تاريخنا وبنادقنا وصواريخنا معكم.
Sunday, Iran's foreign minister warned Israel to end its barrage on Gaza, saying all options were being considered, raising the threat calculus in Washington.
We are concerned. We see a real risk of escalation on the northern border.
The U.S. is backing Israel to fight Hamas and Israel's enemies, sending now 2 aircraft carrier groups to the region as deterrence.
Any country, any organization, anyone thinking of taking advantage of the situation, I have one word: don't.
But for the last week, the U.S. Secretary of State has been on an urgent dash across the Middle East, trying to prevent an explosion into a regional war.
Both sides are in a very high alert mode, and you can sense the panic. You can sense the panic in Lebanon, you can sense the panic in Israel.
As ominous as all this sounds, many analysts suggest at this point, neither Israel nor Iran nor Hezbollah wants to wage war, at least not yet.
They are calculating the risks and the gains. For Iran, they managed to stop or freeze, at least for now, the Saudi-Israeli deal.
A deal brokered by the U.S. to normalize ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel, but which threatened Iran.
They have shifted the narrative. They have definitely regained the resistance narrative that had been dying for so many years.
For so many in this region, the rumblings of a wider war bring back vivid and painful recollections of the lead up to 2006, the last time Hezbollah and Israel were locked in war. This ugly new war has some similar hallmarks: Israeli hostages, escalating, pounding attacks, but in other ways it is unprecedented. In 2006, Hezbollah sent thousands of rockets into Israel as far as Haifa. Israel bombed Beirut's airport and sent missiles into Hezbollah strongholds, plunging the whole of Lebanon into war.
This is normally pretty congested in here.
We were there, on both sides, covering the conflict. Trapped in the dark in Tyre, in the south of Lebanon.
The Israelis have dropped some kind of troops in the area.
That war ground on for 34 days, causing massive damage and displacement. Lebanon still hasn't recovered.
I think one thing we can learn from the 2006 war is that it reminded Hezbollah and Israel that they don't want an escalation.
So far, he says attacks across the northern border are just within the unwritten rules of engagement, which have been in place since 2006. But the risk of escalation is high.
In 2006, there wasn't the context of this unprecedented level of hostility between Israel and Hamas. This creates its own set of red lines, which haven't been tested by 17 years of history, and have drawn in actors beyond Hezbollah and other regional actors, which are watching the situation in Gaza incredibly closely.
What happens next with Israel's ground invasion in Gaza will ripple across this border and others, potentially pushing other militias in the Arab world to join the fight directly or by proxy.
I think Hezbollah at this point, has chosen to dial up and dial down the pressure, depending on what actually is going on in Gaza.
In Israel and in Lebanon, people are worried the next phase will inflame the region.
I think people are very nervous. People are quite tense. Also, I think people are very accepting of the fact that they don't really have any agency in whatever happens.
There is agreement on one thing: there's no going back to normal.
Susan, is what's happening on that border affecting the timing of the movement into Gaza?
It's possible. I mean, every day Israel has been reinforcing its military power at that northern border too, because the moment Israel invades Gaza could be the point as well when Hezbollah and Iran reveal whether they will act to broaden this war.
All right, Susan, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up, why are so many workers in Canada walking off the job?
Experience of the pandemic has changed the way that people think about their relationship to work.
We break down what's happening for workers and their employers next. Another week, another walkout in Canada's Year of the Strike.
It's almost like there's a storm coming across the country.
Demanding higher pay and hard times.
It's so tough.
Companies are also between a rock and a hard place.
So who has the balance of power? Here's Anya Zolojowski to break down what's driving labor's unrest and how long it could last.
Workers everywhere around the world are watching this.
From the biggest stars in Hollywood to port workers in BC and school support workers in Halifax, thousands are reaching for picket signs.
We're here at this strike in Toronto. It's one of many that have taken place across the country, and we want to find out why so many workers are walking off the job.
Daniel Rodriguez has worked at Metro for 20 years.
I'm just working all the time, and it's hard, right? Like, I break down, I cry, like it's so tough.
He's one of nearly 4,000 Metro workers who decided to picket, shocking their employer and even their union. And they're not the only ones demanding more money, all while some employers are reporting record profits since the pandemic.
Strikes are popping up across North America, and one of the most famous is in Hollywood. It's the SAG-AFTRA strike. We caught up with Duncan Crabtree Ireland, the lead negotiator here at TIFF. With these creators, I think a common misconception is, that they're all Hollywood celebrities. Can you speak to how broad your membership actually is?
We have 160,000 members all across the United States and actually Canada as well and around the world. Over 80% of those members make less than $26,000 US dollars a year.
Why now? Why was it this year that SAG-AFTRA ended up striking?
This was a year where we were slated to have negotiations of our contract. Over the last couple of years, we've had extraordinary inflation, and so our members are working for a lot less now than they were getting in real terms in 2020. And the companies want to continue that instead of bringing them along and making sure that people can, earn a living.
Your fight is our fight!
Many union agreements are up for renegotiation this year. That's creating a window for workers to make demands. But strikes mean a pay cut for workers. They're typically a last resort. We met up with McMaster labor studies professor Stephanie Ross to find out why workers seem emboldened right now.
The experience of the pandemic has changed the way that people think about their relationship to work. I think that experience of sacrifice to contribute to keeping the economy going, to keeping public services going, and the burden that that's placed on people has really affected their consciousness.
Turns out, labor action often follows crisis, and Canada is no exception. One of the country's most influential strikes happened shortly after World War I. 30,000 workers walked off the job during the Winnipeg General Strike of 1919. At the time, wages were low, prices were high, while companies enjoyed record profit from the war. Plus, soldiers who fought wanted better conditions after their wartime sacrifices. It's since become clear. Typically, strikes happen when there's economic hardship and the cost of living is too much to bear. This year isn't even the busiest in terms of strike action, even though it may seem like it.
Now, we are seeing a moment where, there's a relative labor shortage, where unemployment is low, inflation is high, and so people feel like, okay, now's the time to try to catch up against all of the things that conspired to make us fall behind.
Indeed, average rent across Canada is over $2,000. Interest rate hikes are squeezing budgets. Food prices have skyrocketed.
And workers' wages are falling back. They're not able to put groceries on the table, not able to put gas in their cars. So workers are saying enough is enough.
Mark Hancock is the president of CUPE. It's the largest public sector union in Canada, representing more than 700,000 workers in industries like aviation and healthcare. How do you respond to employers who say they can't necessarily afford to bring up wages or change work arrangements?
That's not true. In 99% of the places that we're bargaining, we're seeing surpluses in many municipalities and provincial governments. There is enough money to pay workers what they're worth and what they need to continue to survive on.
Mark says he's seen more strike action and more interest in unions. But for some, unions aren't always the answer.
Most employers don't need a union to help them manage. They do management very well on their own. So, not knocking unions per se, but they're not necessarily needed in most companies.
John Hyde is a labor lawyer in Toronto who represents employers.
Companies are also between a rock and a hard place because they have to plan for the future. So they have to determine what's going to go on, how the market's going to be changing, how interest rates are going to impact their products.
And how do you respond to workers who are saying that they need more wages because of the cost of living, inflation, higher interest rates, etc.?
Let's face it, they do. Okay, but there has to be a balance struck because you can't bankrupt the company either.
However, across North America, union popularity is up. In the US, union support is at a 50-year high. Even President Biden joined a picket line.
Unions built the middle class. That's a fact.
Strikers, experts, and pollsters say it's up here in Canada too.
It's almost like there's a storm coming across the country. To be honest, I see no end. I think workers are continuing to be frustrated. They're experiencing bosses and governments that don't seem to be caring about how they continue to live and support their families. So I see this going on for quite a period of time.
When do we want it? Now!
The companies, I think, are underappreciating the workers right now, right? Like I said before, we run this company. We're like the heart of the company. We're the backbone. Every day we come into work, we give our 100%. We'd like to see a little bit back, right?
Since we spoke with Daniel in the summer, he and his colleagues struck a deal, but the fate of other negotiations still hangs in the balance.
Daniel looked at several industries. Let's zero in on the latest for Ontario car makers. 4,300 GM workers have a new 3-year contract, with some wages set to rise by 25% by the end of the deal. For some newer hires, the percentage increases could be even greater. All that after less than a day of picketing. Tonight, we want to say goodbye to our longtime colleague and very talented journalist, Diana Swain, as she moves on from CBC News after, hard to believe, a 33-year career.
Good evening, I'm Diana Swain.
You know her best from her time in front of the camera, which included anchoring newscasts from Winnipeg to Toronto to...
This is The National.
She also hosted CBC News Network's The Investigators.
There has never been anything like what unfolded these past weeks.
That built on her years of award-winning investigative journalism, including groundbreaking work uncovering allegations of sexual abuse in Scouts Canada. For the last few years, Diana was also a driver of that work behind the scenes, including as executive producer of The Fifth Estate. We wish her all the best for what comes next. Coming up, this Canadian couple has upsized in a big way.
We owned a castle in France. How cool is that?
From a Canadian household to a French chateau. Their story is next in our moment. Stephen and Sarah Cole used to own a home in Fergus, Ontario. They sold during COVID, and now they're the proud owners of an 11-bedroom chateau in France. The couple loves to travel, and when they discovered their home had the same value as the French estate, they made the leap. So tonight, their international house swap is our moment.
Welcome to the Chateau de Saint-Germain-des-Prés.
So we decided to switch our 4-bedroom home in Ontario for an 11-bedroom chateau in France. The chateau itself dates from the 16th century. Basically, the tower dates back 500 years, and it blows my mind every time I run up there to my sewing room.
Yeah. It's 37 acres. It does take me about 6 hours to mow them. And of course, we've got 13 fireplaces in the house now, so we do require some wood as well. We were able to sell our place in Canada and essentially buy this chateau for the same. This is the original part of the house. We really do feel for anybody trying to get into the market, but that seems to be where the market is right now. I guess what it comes down to is we saw an opportunity. We weren't running away from Canada. We love Canada very much, but the way we look at it throughout this entire experience, that if it all fails, we owned a castle in France. How cool is that? And, you know, the opportunity to be able to say that was really the, you know, sort of a driving force to be able to go, let's try something different. You know, let's go for it.
Let's be those guys.
Yeah, exactly. And we love the lifestyle. We love the house. We love the people that we're getting to meet now. It's just been awesome.
Well, it looks awesome. It's so beautiful. Imagine that life in a chateau in France. But all I could think, well, that's the first thing I thought. Second thing I thought is, how do you deal with the upkeep? The amount of work that's involved, the cost involved. Well, they've got that partially figured out. They're going to invite artists and other creatives to go to the chateau and collaborate there, which brings to mind the Elton John album from the 70s, where they recorded an album at a French chateau. You can look it up if you don't know off the top of your head. For all of us here at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anytime, anywhere on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Hanomansing. See you tomorrow night.